You mentioned before about build versus buy, so I'm gonna kind of bridge into that topic. When in RevOps, we're kind of constantly looking at the data and using spreadsheets to forecast and see where things are trending and whatnot. How do you make that decision at the end of the day, whether you're going to build something internally or buy something that might be off the shelf?
This particular topic, I find when I talk to people, has people very much on either side of the conversation. They always want to build it custom, build it in house, own it because it's IP. And then others are like, someone else has already done the work. I'm going to just go buy it. For me, I fall in the middle because I think that every scenario that you're going to assess, you have to make the decision, is something off the shelf going to work? If it's buying, which I tend to be a little bit towards the buy side because, again, we're not special flowers. Everyone is doing this. The core functionality of the thing you need is probably out there somewhere. But then it comes to cost and whether or not you need the level of functionality that you're going to get. And frankly, and this is where it really starts to hit you, is as you grow as a company, is that functionality that you buy today still going to be enough in 5 years? And is that investment, now do you have to remake it into a new application, which then you have to implement? And now you're talking 6, 12 months for another full implementation of insert product here, right? So from that perspective, I tend to lean on understand what we need. If we can get it off the shelf and it's in a scalable offering, then I am 100% on the buy side. But there are some things that you need to customize, whether it's configure it completely from scratch or whether it's taking something like Salesforce, incredibly customizable tool, one Salesforce instance you use in one company isn't going to be the same as the one used in the next company, but your core set of things are going to be consistent. That to me is an option that you can buy and then customize. And if you've got that with your package, that's a good way to go.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. So once you've made that decision to buy versus build, how do you justify it internally? How do you then go for budget to get approval? I imagine there's a couple different camps, right? That some say, hey, we have people that can build this internally. It's quote unquote free. And
Yes.
then the other camp to say, we're busy. We want that opportunity cost. Just go buy it.
Yeah, and it's really about ROI. How do you build it out? Just as much as we have to build ROIs to our customers when we're trying to sell them the thing that we're making, we also need to build ROI internally when we're talking about spending money from our budgets. Really, what I look at is the free component. What you have to be able to do is start to, if we build it, yes, it's free in terms of the annual maintenance, say, but there's releases, there's updates, there's configuration. You need to keep software. People tend to need them on staff when you've built an application like that. So it comes down to what's our cost going to be to manage this thing internally, and then what are the costs of buying it and paying that repeated fee. So it comes down to really what's the ROI. And there are times where the ROI does make sense to build, but there are also times where it's going to be a lot cheaper for you in the long run to buy because there's a special skill that you may not need in your company. You may not be a company that needs software developers in it, and there's no reason for you to keep them on staff just to support your internal systems.
Yeah. Or if you had one and they leave, are you able to continue to support it?
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of these things when you build, they're built very specific, especially depending on what size company you are. And that's another piece of it, obviously. If you're a small company, you can get away a lot better with build than you can with buy. But as you get bigger, that's how those start to make sense. But when you're small and you build, typically that person who built it, it's very much their world. So when they leave, or if they were to leave, then start to lose that core bit, and all their Easter eggs and skeletons come out of their code.